Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. It's a brand new week, which means I'm going to be doing the next two stages of the Hachette Partworks release and build the B.III Lancaster bomber. So if you remember last time, we had kind of finished the engine, but today we're going to be putting all the mounts on it, putting another motor in it and making sure the thing works. So it's looking good, but it did take a little bit of time to get the first engine to spin properly for the propeller, and I'm guessing we're probably going to have the same problem with this one as well. Now, I don't know if this is still available. I've heard rumours that you can still get this from issue 1 through Hachette Partworks, but I believe issue 2 is out of stock. So you'd have to source that for yourself. But I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So here we go, here's stage 35, and as you can see we do have the surrounds for the engine, and we're going to be putting all of this in place, including the oil tank there, looking just like this. So by the end, that's how that's looking. This is the rest of the magazine, and a quick tease what's coming in the next one. Got the motor. Now, I don't mind admitting to you, my eyesight is terrible, especially with this build when there's a lot of fine detail parts. I do wear my magnifying glasses. These are available in my Amazon store. I've put a link down there. Just follow that to whether you're in the US or UK. So, first thing we've got is this metal frame here, and I'm hoping you can see this. Hopefully the light will show you. We've got two indents on the side of the engine here and here. As a matter of fact, I've just zoomed up a little bit more. Here and here. So, going to be putting some glue, making sure I've got the right side onto these metal sections here. I do want to swamp this because, here we go, I'm going to be gluing this into place. Now, I find the hard bit about doing this that I found on the first engine is you don't know if that's going in straight or not until you actually put the other piece in. But I'm just going to hold that in place for now and just hope for the best that I have put that in quite square. Because what we're going to do is just turn that over like this. And I've got this tiny rubber section here, looking like that, which I'm going to be putting over, again, probably on the close-up camera. I'm going to zoom the top camera up as well, I think. It's going to go just on this peg, just here. Perfect. That's in place. And then quite simply, we're going to be closing that off by putting the other side on and then having this going into that little rubber peg that I just put on. So once again, I'm going to be gluing these stubs here and fitting this into place. So when that's on, it should look just like that. Excellent. Just let that dry. And I'm now going to be making the radiator. So we've got two halves of this. First one I'm going to do, put these two parts together. That was an easy bit. And then looking at the underside of the engine here, we do have a notch just at this side here. The radiator is going to be going in this way into that notch, and it needs to be glued into place. So I'm going to glue that in now. So now that's looking like that. Okay, then I'm going to be taking this section here. And what I want to do is, just looking at the instructions, have it this way round. And we've got two little indents on this side, which are going to fit over these two tabs here. So I'm putting some glue on them, one there and one there. And I'll put this into place. This is where you realise your spacing slightly out, but I can just push them together there to get them in. So that's in there, like that. Very detailed work. I'm not going to lie to you, this is really quite difficult. I'll just put that to one side to have a little bit of a dry again. Because I've got these two pipes here, or two parts of the header tank these are. Just going to be piecing these together. And that's perfect. They just clip in. I haven't actually glued that at all. So, these two parts here are going to be going on to those two little things that keep coming off on my one, just here at the top. And the other side of this is going to be coming out of this tube that we've just got there. It's got a little open end on it. So I'm going to dab some glue just onto these points here and here. And also I'm going to put one just on the tab there, because I don't want this coming out. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Let's put this in. And there you go, that's in just like that. Not the easiest thing to push in because they are very delicate, they are. But that's looking good. I'm just going to check that this still turns okay. No problems at all. Excellent. I can put that to one side again. And I'm just going to make the oil tank now, which just means I'm pushing these two parts together like that. This is going to go into a cradle. I want to make sure when I push that in that this open side here with the hole is facing me on this side. Probably best on the top camera. Probably going to glue that in. Perfect. That's that in place there. Which means the last thing to do is put the oil feed pipe just into this D-shaped hole here. So it is a tight fit, this one. Perfect. But that's gone in, no problems at all. So with those two parts done, that is all there is to do in that very fiddly stage. And you know what? We've still got two more engines to do after this. Okay, so we're going to be doing the motor for the propeller now. So we're going to be putting this onto this back section here. It's sort of like a firewall, if you like. Creating the frame for the oil tank, putting this into place, and that is going to look like that. I will test to make sure this is spinning nice and freely there. And this is the rest of the magazine. And this is what's coming next. As you can see here, it looks like we've got a bit of the fuselage here. I do like this. Look at this. This is all one piece. Excellent. Okay, so here's the motor. I'm going to straighten this wire out. Now I'm going to do what I did last time when I did the first motor. We're going to put the motor in here. But I'm not really too worried about how it's sitting in there. I mean, the other one was really tight to get in there, but this one's not too bad, actually. And this is just going to be going onto this section like that there. And I'm holding it into place with some B.III screws, which I've got here. So, one this side. I'm not making this too tight at all. Just enough to hold that motor in place. And one this side. So I'm just taking that rubber grommet off here so I can put that onto the motor. Push that into place. Okay, let me go get a test board. And I want to confirm the motor's spinning. So I'm going to plug that into J1. And the motor's spinning absolutely fine. I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not. I've got a filter on, I think, but it is spinning. Okay. So now we know that's spinning. I'm going to get this onto the shaft. Got the battery here. When I plug that in, it should turn. There you go. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's turning. That's good. Let's try it with a propeller on. So just putting the propeller on the end here. Once again, if I hold that from underside, there you go. So we've got two working engines. If anything, this one's spinning better than the first one. But looking good. Just take the battery out, let it slow down. Oh, that was so fiddly. Really, really fiddly. I'm not going to lie to you. But you just need to take your time. Now, the only other thing I need to do now, before I put the back on, is this pipe coming from the top just needs to go, get me tweezers, into this bulkhead here. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that. I can disconnect the test box now and just push this into place. And there you go, as you can see, that's that in place. Bring over this part of the frame and the oil tank we created last time. That's going to just push in these two lugs into the holes at the bottom here. So line them up and quite forceful. push them in. You heard it click into place there. So that's the oil tank in. And then finally, last thing to do is just to put some glue just on these pegs at the end, like this. I'm going to be putting this way round into the slots here. So just get this lined up. They haven't really told me what to do with the wires, so I'm hoping that they're in the right place, but that's looking good. Just going to let that set for a second. And there you go. That's in place. And that is the second engine in its frame completed. Looking good, isn't it? And I'll tell you what, I was worried for a second that that wasn't going to spin. But I think the secret to these engines is making sure that you've got a nice free bit of movement before you're building anything on top of the engine, namely the exhaust ports and stuff like that. If it's moving free to start off with, can't see there being a problem afterwards. But I've done 2 now. So 2 more to go. Let's see how these go. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.